Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today, you'll never guess, 4 brand new decks from top Marvel Snap players. Yeah, I guess you could have guessed. That's what we do every day on the channel. We are going to begin with Crazy M Infinite. Crazy is one of the best Marvel Snap players in the world. I know I say that a lot, but hey, I'm going to tell you what Crazy's top rank was, and you'll believe me shortly thereafter. Crazy also, props to Crazy, just got into the Marvel Snap Creator Program. He's been streaming for several months and doing an amazing job of it. So this deck is sort of a mix between the old Sarah Black Knight Infinite deck, um, and it's sort of combining that with a War Machine version that's running the Storm package. Are you going to be able to Storm War Machine Legion? Of course not. That's not a thing that this deck can do anymore. However, it still has an absolute ton of power, an absolute ton of ways to win games of Marvel Snap, and it's incredibly strong. Let's look at some of the play lines, but first we got to do some replacements. You can find Crazy on Twitch at CrazyMSnap, and you need Black Knight, War Machine, and Legion. Just 3 high series cards to play this list, and 1 is series 4. Everything else here is low series. This has a 60% win rate in high infinite. This is a legitimately powerful and worthwhile deck to try. So there are no real replacements here. The high series stuff is just a requirement, but this is a largely series 3 deck with only 2 series 5 cards and 1 series 4. Crazy was the number 1 ranked player in back-to-back seasons in March and April. He was number 2, I want to say, in February, and he's been in the top 5 and top 10 multiple other times. I believe he is currently sitting in the top 10 using this list. This is a premier, absolute top-notch Marvel Snap player. Turn 1 with this list, you play Black Knight. Turn 1, you would still rather play Black Knight than a discard card, but you'll discard as necessary. Turn 3, this is your last real big chance to discard before you sort of switch game plans. Turn 4, you Storm if you have Legion and you're ahead, because if you've been playing enough powerful cards, you can Storm Legion, just close out the game, take your 2 cubes, have a great time. War Machine is if you need to play Infinite out cold. If you haven't been able to discard Infinite, then you're going to make sure you drop War Machine. You've also got that extra Ebony Blade at that point. And if you need to just play Rider because you've got a discard, that's usually fine. This is not a very heavy Shang-Chi meta. You should be relatively safe Ghost Ridering back a big card early. Turn 5, you want Sarah or Legion. Legion is if there's a storm or a location that greatly benefits you. Sarah is generally your play. This is not the kind of deck that can skip turn 5 and just drop Infinite most of the time, so try not to make that play, please. All right, Infinite is your last play if you just did that War Machine play. However, you can also end up, if you went War Machine Sarah, you can go Infinite and Ebony Maw for 27 power on the final turn. That's obviously an absolute ton and will win you most games of Marvel Snap. You can also, if you played Sarah, go Shard and Ghost Rider, or play one of those 2 cards with Shadow King, which is also obviously an incredibly powerful play. Sometimes that can be up to a 44, Ghost Rider's updated power, a 44 power play on the last turn of the game. Obviously, once more, an extremely difficult play to beat. We're going to take one last look at this list, and then we're going to look at a Cerebro list that is just through the roof powerful. Absolutely a meta Cerebro list that handles almost everything the opponents are throwing around right now. This is the last look at Crazy M Infinite. Again, this is about as powerful as a Black Knight deck has been in a long while. The big tip I have for you in playing it is be careful with your Shard. The Shard is vulnerable to both your and opposing Shadow Kings. If you can keep that in mind, you should win a lot of cubes with this. Crazy has been crushing with it. I gave it a try. It's an extremely powerful list. Before we go any further, though, please hit that sub button, like, and comment if you're willing. We're trying to hit 15,000 subs before the end. I mean, at this point, can we do it before the end of the month? I feel like we have a shot at doing it before the end of the month, if not really early November. It was originally our end year goal, and we've received such outstanding support. We're almost there. So, I'm debating making 16,000 the goal for the end of the year, which feels completely impossible and crazy. But hey, let's be crazy. Let's see if you can help us get to 16,000 subs by the end of 2024. It would mean the world to us. We will bring you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap content in return, with interviews with the game's biggest and best names, 4 decks every single day, and so very much more. If you're interested in Marvel Snap and you want full coverage of this game, hit that sub button and like and comment to show us to more people. That's what it does for the YouTube algorithm. In addition, you can win one of 5 Surtur season passes on this video. We're giving away a Surtur Season Pass right in the comments to this video. All you have to do is sub and like the video. Later on in this video, I'm going to ask a question. You answer it, just a simple question, yes or no, in the description, in the comments of the video, and you are entered to win Surtur next week's Season Pass card. If you're not sure what Surtur does, this weekend we'll have a giant breakdown of all the cards coming next month and a Surtur preview. All right. MNs Cerebro 3 is awesome. So Mulwin played a lot of this and was like, hey, I don't actually need Bast, and I don't actually need and I don't actually end up needing Mystique anymore. The deck has moved on from those, largely because all the tech cards it now has available. This is a deck that now has access to Shadow King, Luke Cage, and Negasonic, and Red Guardian, and US Agent, and Killmonger. And that's not to mention Shang-Chi, or Juggernaut, or Cosmo, which aren't even in this list. You can even change locations that are giving you a problem with Scarlet Witch. This is a ton of power to this list, and you can hide that without to lose priority behind Invisible Woman. There are, again, a ridiculous amount of ways to play and win with this list. That is not the turn by turn for this list. Whatever, I'll turn by turn you. It's very easy. So you can find Mulwin at twitter.com/MulwinSnap. This deck does need Red Guardian, but US Agent can be Shang-Chi or Cosmo as you see. And just a reminder, I will be streaming Marvel Snap later today. I had some players submit to me some gameplay. I've got Sizer, the current #1 ranked player. We're gonna watch some of those. Games, and as we watch them, we're gonna like pause, break down, and explain them, and then I think I'm gonna go win an Infinity Conquest on stream. So that's what we're gonna do on stream later today. If you are interested in checking it out, it'll be streaming right here on this YouTube. It'll also be on Twitch at PulseGlazer if you're so interested. Let's do a quick turn by turn. So your ideal turn 2 is Daredevil. After that, you'd rather play Invisible Woman, and other than that, you're trying to get out Sentinels. Sentinels are really good because obviously they're repeatable. If you got out Invisible Woman, behind Invisible Woman, you would very much like Cerebro. If there is a very obvious target, think Thena, you Red Guardian. If that's not the case, Luke Cage is your 3 of choice. Behind Invisible Woman goes almost anything that makes sense here, right? If you ended up playing Invisible Woman, you're perfectly fine to drop that Shadow King, drop that Gambit, drop that Killmonger, drop that Negasonic. Excuse me, not Negasonic, anything but Negasonic. From there, turn 4, you're doing the same thing, but now I'd rather generally go 2/2s than just play another 3. So what you're looking to do at that point is if you played Daredevil, now you want to get Invisible Woman. If you played Invisible Woman, now you want to get Daredevil. That's like your absolute key. At that point, you can put a card behind them that you think you're relatively safe using at that in order to conquer the board. Hopefully, you've been able to grab Prio. If you have, your turn 5 is your snap condition with Daredevil, because what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever they do gets hit by Negasonic while you also play Shadow King or US Agent in the appropriate lane. And then last turn of the game is just sort of whatever you can to get as much power out. This is reasonably often your Cerebro turn, so they'll play like a Cerebro and a Red Guardian, a Cerebro and a Killmonger, Cerebro and whatever, and that's how you win the game. This is extremely straightforward, extremely simple, and extremely powerful. Mulwin is one of the top players in Marvel Snap. You should check him out on Twitter at MulwinSnap. He was the #4 ranked on the Infinite Leaderboard the only time he ever really tried to compete, and he's constantly in the top of major tournaments. This is a stellar player. This is a stellar deck. It is just saying, well, if all my 5s counter everything, Cerebro, right? If all my 5s counter everything, good luck to the opponents. One last look at this deck. It is a beauty. Please, please, please give this a try. I cannot urge you to play this list enough. I will even try it on stream for you later on if anyone remembers to remind me. Hey, if you want to see gameplay from all of these decks all week, check out the stream team. Today is Wednesday, so GamingwithFlashX will be on tonight. If you're not off during the day or you can't manage to check it out during the day, GamingwithFlashX has got you covered, and Prashaun should have a video of yesterday's decks up later today. We also have a custom card challenge that happens once every couple weeks here. This is from our old friend Drewberry's Discord. Remember Drewberry? Drewberry's the homie. He gave us a space on his Discord in order to run a custom card challenge, and we did a Halloween custom card challenge. So we have 2 winners of our Halloween custom card challenge. The first is Longbones, who came up with this awesome Khonshu. Khonshu is a 6/5 unrevealed. Discard the highest cost card from your opponent's hand and revive it on your side here. The thing is, your opponent, obviously, generally speaking, plays the highest cost card in their hand at the end of the game, so you have to figure out ways around that. Cards like Wiccan and Maximus can really help at that point, right? If you can go Wiccan, If you can get Wiccan going, you can then go Khonshu and Maximus and Khonshu at the end of the game for 11 power plus their highest power card, which seems awesome. Pure discard decks are just happy for this extra discard, and you can run a card like Corvus Glaive into this to get extra opportunity to like ramp into this. Any ramp, however, will work, which means this goes great with Arishem or Wave as well. Longbones even made us two variants. I'm partial to the one on the left, the one with the staff and the big ankh. I think that one is gorgeous. I'm not against the one in the suit. I just really, really like the one on the left. So props to Longbones for that one. And our second winner is the artist. The artist came up with Jennifer Kale, and you're like, who the hell is that? I'm going to show you the variants before I read this card. See that variant? Have you been watching Agatha all along? The variant on the right should tell you who Jennifer Kale is. She is in Agatha all along. Get it? This is a very cool character that will synergize with Agatha, and that's ultimately what got it through because we are really enjoying Agatha, even if we're a little behind. So 1/2 activate. Add a potion to your hand with the power of the leftmost, the cost of the middle, and the text of the rightmost card in your hand. It's really hard to control the cost of the middle card, right? So this is a really, really powerful Agatha enabler. This is probably the best Agatha card that could be printed, which I love because that's super thematic, and it's okay with Thanos and other things, but where you really want it is an Agatha list. Um, this really works great with shield cards Agatha and Thanos, while it's vulnerable to Mobius and Shadow King because it works just like a shard, just like a pig, where it is fundamentally a zero cost card, right? Um, but it's going to gain that cost, so you can really mess it up with Mobius. You can really mess up its power with Shadow King. Love this design. I really wish this was in the game of Snap. And again, this comes with two really cool variants that look wildly different stylistically. This one, because of Agatha, I like the right one better, though. All right, so we are going to have our next custom card challenge end on 11/11, and it'll be on either the 11/12 or 11/13 video, and 11/11 make a wish. So your theme is wish. It should be a wish related card, but the ability should be the perfect ability, the single ability you most want to see on a card in Marvel Snap. If you'd like to participate, please join Drewberry's Discord, linked in the description to this and every video, and then check snaptracker.me/custom if to make your own custom cards in Snap. All right, next up we have Sizer's Antivenom. This is the one of two Antivenom decks I found that I like so far. The one I tried yesterday, I did not enjoy. I think Sarah was better without it, although we do have another list for you for tomorrow for Antivenom. This is the one Sizer won an Infinity border with. I think this is a really, really cool take on the card. Basically, it's saying when my pixie stuff doesn't go off, I've got other shenanigans to do, and 4/7 is just big enough to be a decent sized body. This is first and foremost a pick and Wixie list, a Wixie list, if you will, but it is a list that has other legs to it. So you can find Sizer at twitch.tv/Sizer2654. Sizer is currently the #1 ranked player on the Infinite leaderboard. So what is needed are Pixie, Mobius, Kate Bishop, Wiccan, and Alioth. Pixie and Mobius are a package that help with this deck being so freaking expensive. Wiccan and Kate are a package that help with this deck being so freaking expensive. Alioth is the best 6-drop in the game. Grandmaster and Valentina are fine, but they are not required. Shadow King, Cable, and Mirage are all acceptable replacements here. Antivenom can be Iron Lad without you losing too very much, to be perfectly honest. And Red Hulk can be Doom or Blob. Oop, I don't know what that's there for. All right, Sizer got a border with this, an Infinity border with this, so it is, again, a legit deck that can win in high leverage Snap. Turn 1, you play Quicksilver. Turn 2, you play Pixie over Kate or Valentina. Turn 3, Mobius if Pixie, or if the opponent's playing a deck that falls apart to discard, or you can just drop Blue Cage. Turn 4, Wiccan if it triggers, if not, Antivenom. Turn 5 is a 6 if you can, and then turn 6 is Grandmaster and a 6. That's it. That's how you play this list. The Valentina card could also be your turn 4 or 5 play, and it's worth remembering that Grandmaster on a Wiccan on turn 5 or an Alioth on turn 6 is just an insane power buff to your deck that opponents will not be ready for, that they will have a really hard time dealing with. Remember that if you're considering getting Antivenom and you like this deck, you can get it, but tomorrow I'll have top player thoughts on the card. I will ask about 10 players at the top of the Infinite leaderboard what they think of this brand new card and be able to report back to you in Friday's video. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Season Pass question. Are you going to play Pokemon Pocket? The global launch is today. It's the Marvel Snap like Pokemon game in that games are meant to be quicker. It's meant to be collection based. Are you planning on playing it? If so, make sure you check it out in global launch, and also make sure you check out the Pocket Meta, our Pokemon Pocket uh, show. We'll have a video out on Thursday for that. To tomorrow's Wednesday. No, excuse me. I don't know how days of the week work. Yeah, on Thursday. That's what I'm trying to say. We will have a video out on Thursday for that game. All you have to do is type in Pulse Glazer Pokemon or check the description of this video to sub. But whether you're subbing or not, just answer if you're planning on checking it out. Please, and that will enter you to win a season pass. As in, someone who answers that question will win a season pass on this video. Next up, we have Jet's Snap on Zabo. And we've talked about this, and I think what's important, the important change here is we weren't sure if this deck would survive the Rock Slide change going from 3 to 4, and it has and then some, thanks literally to Zabo being a 1-2. Jet says this deck is still as strong as ever. If you check this version's win rate, it is the highest win rate for this deck, and it's one of the top 3 or 4 top 10% infinite win rates because Zabo gives you a snap condition. Zabo is incredibly powerful. Zabo alone is crazy strong, just being able to get a Rock Slide, getting able to cheap Phoenix Force, Misery, whatever. But if you can Zabo and Grandmaster, you now have sometimes a 2-cost Phoenix Force or Rock Slide or a Misery, and your power just goes absolutely insanely through the roof with this deck. Getting a second Hood, getting extra rocks from Korg, etc., getting a second Shadow King trigger. All of these are utterly insanely strong things that Grandmaster allows you to do. Plus, you've got all the Misery Phoenix Force stuff that we'll talk about when we get to the turn by turn. So you can find Jet streaming all the time at twitch.tv/Jet13. Jet is probably the most creative deck builder currently streaming, so please do go check him out. This deck needs Zabo, Darkhawk, Phoenix, and Cassandra Nova. I know that's expensive. I think Zabo is good enough to hit the required list. You can try it without Zabo, but Nico can be Toxin or Beast, or just a solid 2 as you would like, but I really do want that spot to be a spot that can help me handle and help me get rid of my Hood, because right now the only real way to get rid of Hood is Misery, and I do want a second way to handle that. Turn 4, Grandmaster can be Absorbent Man as well. It's worse, but it is perfectly fine. You can Black Widow into Absorbent Man, you can Cassandra Nova into Absorbent Man, and be totally fine with this deck. So this is a top win rate deck, one we have to talk about whenever it updates because it is so freaking good, and it is, to me at least, one of the most fun decks in the game. Turn 1, Zabo, Snap, over Korg, over whatever good card you have, whatever good one you have. That should be Hood, right? Hood. Turn 2, Grandmaster, or you can play more ones. If you do play Hood first, you can then go Demon and Korg, which is perfectly fine. Turn 3, you want Widow over Cassandra Nova. You can then Misery on Widow, or drop a Phoenix Force on Cass if you have Misery in hand. Or you can just Rock Slide. The reason you're dropping Phoenix Force on Cass is because on turn 5, if you Misery that, right, that's going to then kill the Cassandra, re-trigger the Cassandra, kill the Cassandra, then trigger Phoenix Force, which will then merge with Cassandra Nova, but not get killed, which is the point here. It will not die because that the card that would have died, that Phoenix Force, is no longer there. That's now a Cass that has been revived. So you're getting a triple trigger on Cass, which is absolutely humongous, plus the Phoenix Force power. And if you don't have any of that stuff, you can just Rock Slide. Turn 5, Phoenix Force for Widow, which is to say you go Black Widow into Misery. Now you've gone take a Widow's Kiss, take a Widow's Bite, take a Widow's Bite, and then Phoenix Force to bring back that Widow to take another Widow's Bite. Or you can do the Misery on top of the cast thing that we just talked about. If not, you can drop Darkhawk. And then turn 6 is Darkhawk or Phoenix and Demon/Shadow King. That's it. You win. Enjoy your cubes. You've basically said, you can't draw, I'm putting out a ton of power, beat me. This is one of my favorite lists in all of Marvel Snap, and I cannot more strongly urge you to give it some play. It's great. Question of the day. Vane Hellsinger says they reached infinite at a very low CL, like literally below 1000 CL, every season for quite a while, and got completely killed while there. They were basically unable to compete at infinite. Now they've got more cards, they've got more options, and they're able to compete at infinite a couple months later. But that can put some people off the game. Is this a bug or a feature? Should there have to be you need to be this tall to ride at infinite? I think there should be some kind of CL cap at infinite that lets you play different players that like keeps you off the infinite leaderboard until you're at, like, I don't know, 2000 CL, but lets you play some bots in there. I think that it would be way, way more fun and turn less people away from the game once they start reaching infinite early, especially if they're good at card games instead of otherwise. I'm happy to see that you stuck around the game, Van Helslinger, but that does royally suck that that was your experience, and I wish Second Dinner would take it seriously and offer a change for it. Diflo 33 asks if I'll try Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Marvel Mystic Mayhem looks like a squad-based mobile game that they're releasing. It sort of looks like an Ultimate Alliance where you battle Nightmare. Um, I'm probably not going to play it. These games are basically always gacha games, but the closer it is to the original Marvel Ultimate Alliance or X-Men Legends games, the more likely I am to pick it up. So I'm willing to read some reviews. They can also contact me to promote it, and I would give it a try and give an honest opinion. But short of that, I'm perfectly happy to just skip this and say, mobile game usually, not always, but usually just means shameless crash grab, and I won't be there. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks, so I'm going to say thank you to a bunch of people, starting with the great Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, check him out on Twitch and YouTube, please, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I am Frostman, Jet Navalit, Thinking Poker, Ryan Town Time, Prime Ryan of Prime Mind fame, Ryan Burke of Burke Avenue fame, Ryan Wood of Woody fame, Caretixley, the King of Questions, Koi Ray, Black Dahlia, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Archangel 3K, Hollowed, Quid Pro Joe, the King of New Marvel Snap card content, Dr. Fratnick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Hey Racco, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, the Notorious Bizza, and Black Jeebus, who are now apparently in my heart a secret rap group, XRSV, and Skippy G, who's old now, Jessica Gamble, hey Jess, got that video coming soon, although it's worth noting that Prashaun released a bounce guide video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but you should check that too. You'll have mine soon too. Tommy Nyquist, the winner of Snapchat's League Season 1, the King of Bros, bruh, the Great Kazoo, Kev Cihoda, Corwin, the Disruptive Ludacris, John Q and Jimmy McQ, Glam, 8th Sage, Matcha Priya Bottles, Norman Green, Goblin Osborne, Steven, Andrew Flannery, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B. Ending out, Real Name Town, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Matt H, DJ Mega Hijinks, No Freaking Flex, Ocularis, Craig Sterry, BG Zodrex, check him out on Twitch, the King of Canada, Oh Canada, Den Man Falcon, check him out on YouTube, Spike Jones, check out the Triple Threat on YouTube, Two Ties, the Great Lord as the Pirate King Tuccrr, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for Join Me Later. Watch the stream replay. Have some fun with that. Check out tomorrow's video too, because it's going to be a good one, and I'll see you then. Peace.